So, Javed Saab, firstly, thank you very much for joining The Wire.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
You have been a friend of The Wire for a long time, and we know that you support the free press. So, thank you very much for that. And secondly, but more importantly, congratulations on winning this really prestigious honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It is something, I mean, you won so many awards and each one is prestigious, but this is something else. It's international. And it is named after the famous Richard Dawkins, whose work I'm sure you know. So I'm going to quote his citation of the award. Somebody who publicly proclaims the values of secularism, rationalism, and upholds scientific truth. Now, these are, I don't know whether these are positive attributes today or not.
Well, they are positive attitude, but nowadays the problem is that the word positive has become very dubious particularly after Corona. So positive itself has become negative. So, and even in this matter, if you are positive, you are negative. That's the thing.
So secularism and rationalism is looking very ancient and outdated. Are you saying that?
No. As a matter of fact, these trends come and go, but ultimately, what is the general thrust of the world? Where the society, generations after generations, is progressing? What path it has taken? I think the percentage of rationalists in any society is increasing by the day. And as a matter of fact, what happens that if society doesn't approve of certain attitudes, certain ideas, certain beliefs, then you get a lot of people tend to be in a closet. I think today we have a huge number of people who are closet atheists, closet rationalists. Some of us have come out and we say it without any hesitation, but there are many who don't speak out, they don't articulate, but in their heart of heart, they have lost faith in all these superstitions.
But at a time when religion is so much in our public life, is it easy to come out and say I'm an atheist for anyone who wants to say, he can say I'm a rationalist, but to say an atheist is probably going to get him...
a rationalist, as a matter of fact, if you are a rationalist, you have no choice but to be an atheist. Otherwise, you are not a rationalist. But the fact is that, first of all, I mean, although it will support my case because I am anti-religion, but the fact is there is a difference between being very religious and being communal. If you are very religious, there is a tremendous possibility that you will be communal also. I mean, there are people who have been very religious but not communal. But that is an exception, not the rule. And if you are an atheist, there is an overwhelming chance that you will be a secular person, but in spite of being an atheist, you can be communal also. So let us not confuse atheism and religion are two things. Communalism and secularism are another set. So let us not crisscross that communalism and atheism. That is not the competition. The competition between communalism is with secularism, and the competition of religion is with atheism. These are two different games.
But proclaiming your religion necessarily pushes you into a situation where you also tend to become a little bigoted, a little communal, and it is now not even an embarrassment to say that I hold these communal values. It's no longer an embarrassment the way it was, say, 20 years ago.
Of course, you know what they have done, that they have hidden their communalism under the garb of nationalism. So if you don't accept their communalism and you are an anti-national, because their communalism is nationalism. So this is the game today. So if I oppose, say, Sangh Parivar ideas or Mr. Golwalkar's ideas, I'm an anti-national because I oppose Golwalkar's philosophy. So they have their communalism has taken the garb of nationalism, but that is not nationalism. Nationalism is much bigger than any communalism, any community chauvinism.
Now, over the last few years, especially Javed Saab, as these things have become very, very irrational, you have come in personally for a lot of attacks, but you have also been attacked by those who are Muslims, who see you as some kind of, I'm going to use this word very, very carefully, some kind of renegade, some kind of enemy within. I seem to recall a conversation, I don't know, where you said that I get more attacks and hate mail from Muslims than I get from Hindus. Is that so, and why?
No, as a matter, no, I must say that there is a proper balance. I mean, both of them are going neck to neck, so I can't say who is ahead of the other one. Fact is that if you are against bigotry, if you are against communalism, you cannot choose that this is the communalism I'll oppose, this is the communalism I'll accept. This is the bigotry which is wrong, and this is the bigotry that is acceptable. That's not possible. That is not right. And as a matter of fact, many people have done this in this country, and that is why we are seeing this day. So we have to have a totally even hand. Communalism and fascism and bigotry of any color should be rejected. Now, obviously, I mean, I have an interesting history. Thrice in Mumbai, Mumbai police has given me protection. As a matter of almost against my will, they have said that no, you need it and we will give you. And out of three, twice it was because of the mullahs. One by the other party. But twice it was because of the mullah. Because the moment you speak the truth, and as a matter of fact, when somebody who was not born in their community criticizes them, they don't feel that bad. But if somebody, you see, no Muslim can be a pseudo-secularist. Only a Hindu can be a pseudo-secularist. Because when he speaks sense, they call him pseudo-secularist. If a Muslim is there, then he is anti-national or maybe a jihadi. So same way, if some Sangh Parivar person criticizes these Muslims, they don't feel that bad. But a man who has a name which gives them the impression that he is from our community, if he criticizes, then he's a traitor. You know, he is backstabbing them. How can he say that loudspeaker should be lower if not absent in a
But that
mosque?
could also be because, and I'm just proposing a thought here, that could also be because the Muslims of India feel a little besieged and maybe vulnerable, so they feel that they need some allies. And are they feeling vulnerable, firstly? I mean,
no, they are feeling vulnerable, and they are. It's a fact. But they will have to think, an average Muslim will have to think that how the situation has arisen. Why have they reached this stage? Obviously, the fascist forces of the other community are equally responsible, but there are some fascist forces within the community also. And you cannot fight with the fascist forces of the other community without fighting with the fascist forces of your own community. When you will differentiate between the two, it will not help you. You have to, like charity, this battle also should start from home. And this is what has happened for so many years, that the Muslim fundamentalist, the Muslim right-winger has been treated with kid gloves. The community was intimidated by him, and the others felt that who are we to talk about it? Let's not do that. This is a minority communalist. This is a minority fundamentalist. There is nothing like minority and majority as far as the fundamentalist is concerned. Both the fundamentalists, both the communalists try to take their community on the wrong path, and they should be stopped. And the average person of the community should be warned that they are equally responsible for your problems.
so when you say average, I've come across a lot of people, as you must have too, who, because there is increasing levels of education among Muslims, especially urban Muslims, In a, the few people and I have met and all that, they are in a dilemma because they feel that culturally they should not reject what they are as Muslims, but they keep getting pushed into a corner by all sides.
There is a term like Islamic culture. What is Islamic culture? I think it's a myth. There is no Islamic culture at all. I mean, why don't you go to Saudi Arabia and try to look for Islamic culture? There is Makkah, Medina, Kaaba, but there is no Islamic culture there. There is nothing like Islamic culture. It is like calling Europe different cultures, put them together and call them Christian culture, which would be equally wrong. There is France, there is Italy, there is Germany, there is England. They have their own cultures, own traditions. The same way, if you go to different Muslim countries, there are different cultures. Within India, why go anywhere else? In India, a North Indian, Urdu-speaking Muslim has one culture, and a Tamil Muslim who speaks Tamil has another culture. A Malayali Muslim who speaks Malayali has another culture. Do they have the same culture? So this Islamic culture, Islamic architecture, Islamic, where is the architecture in Islam? Maybe architecture was in Turkey, maybe some art was in Iran, but call it Iranian culture, call it Turkish culture, Uzbek culture, or Indian culture, North Indian culture. What is Islamic culture is beyond my understanding.
But actually, India has been blessed with so many cultural influences that we can celebrate instead of separating. That we got,
of course.
We got Persian, we got Arabic, we got Turkish, and we got from other countries, and Christian.
See, somebody has given a very good example. Says that India is like one big pizza. The bread is the base and it is the same. And on that, different pizzas have different things on it. So the taste changes, but the base is so strong. So whatever cultures have come to India, they ultimately were Indianized. They were totally Indianized. And now what they are today, they are not what they are in Iran or Central Asia or anywhere else. They have become Indian. Even the language, we have taken words in Urdu, we have taken words from Persian, from Portuguese, from Arabic, from any language, Sanskrit. But at the same time, the usage of those words is like our own Indian usage. Like Amir is an Arabic word. Lekin Amiro, Amiri, this is Indian. So Hawa is a Persian word. Lekin Hawaye, Hawao, this is Indian. So whenever we have taken any word from anywhere, we have put it in our own syntax, in our own grammar. And same goes for everything, for art, for music, for cuisine, for everything. That maybe it has come from different sources, but ultimately it has become Indian. And it has become so Indian that when you go out to see the same thing, which had come from somewhere, it is totally different.
I think the biryani is a very fine example. Speaking
very good. It was almost on my lips.
Now, one of the things that I don't know whether these are correlated, but the rise in religion in public life, I feel that what we are also seeing is the gradual decline of social empathy towards those who are more vulnerable. And I've been particularly moved and noticed that the migrants got not just no help from the government, but they got very little help from society. And I put it down to our unwillingness to recognize them as people who are part of us, who have helped us, who have run these cities. तो ये कैसे change आया, Javed साहब?
आप ये देखिए, आप this is it is a strange and very, in a way, a very obvious irony that you are telling me that religion on its rise, but on the other hand, humanity is coming down. And we are told again and again that religion teaches you humanity. Religion gives you virtues. It gives you compassion. It gives you love for the other human being. But the things are happening exactly to the contrary. You say religion is coming up and compassion is going down. So where has religion taught you humanity? Which religion has taught you humanity? If you are so religious, why you are not so humane? The fact is, you can be good in spite of your religion, not because of it. Anybody. And again, obviously, the respective governments, whether the center or the states, all the states are responsible uh, for the situation like this, and they were not prepared for this eventuality. I mean, when the curtain was dropped, when lockdown was announced, did they think that what will happen to so many people who are daily wages? Not the thought perhaps did not cross their mind, and it took a long, long time. That thanks to some journalists who were really barefoot journalists and went to the locations and covered those people, that it came to the conscience of the nation. Otherwise, powers that be and the establishment of any kind and industry, corporate, they were totally indifferent and ignorant of this problem. Well, lakhs and lakhs of people, perhaps the exodus is as big as 47, if not bigger. And nobody noticed that. On the contrary, there is one ray of hope that I have come to know, that from whichever town, whichever city, whichever village these people have passed, the people who are living there came out of their houses and helped those people. Gave them food, gave them water, gave them clothes, gave them shoes. So somewhere, perhaps in India, humanity is alive. We cannot say, looking at some politicians or some establishment or some corporates or some factory owners, that humanity is dead. No, it's not true. The common man still feels the pain of the common man, but it is the privilege who has lost.
So I think the privilege, you said at one, while you were saying this, you said nobody gave it a thought. And I think that establishment privilege has completely alienated those sections from the rest of the country, while taking full advantage of their work and service.
Very right. Very right. I mean, and it's so strange that it has seeped in so far and so deep that I had an interview with some journalist on TV, and he was insistent that these people are going back because लाख लुभाए महल दो महले अपना घर फिर अपना घर है. So they want to go home. He was suggesting it is nostalgia that is sending them back, walking 1,000 square miles or 1,200 square miles. So it is the love for the village that has taken them. Totally insensitive to the problem.
Very much, yes.
Totally insensitive. ये कैसे हो सकता है कि एक जर्नलिस्ट के कहना चाह रहा है और इस्टेब्लिश करना चाहता है कि लोग इसलिए वापस जाना चाहते हैं कि उन्हें घर याद आ, वो घर, गांव का पनघट, पीपल का पेड़, घर का आंगन मिस कर रहे हैं, इसलिए जाना चाहते हैं. इसलिए नहीं कि वो भूखे मर रहे हैं, इसलिए नहीं कि उनके मुंह के ऊपर दरवाजे बंद कर दिए गए, इसलिए नहीं कि उनको जो फैक्ट्री ओनर जो उनसे काम कराता था उसको ये ख्याल नहीं आया कि कल ये क्या खाएंगे. ये रीजन नहीं. इसलिए नहीं कि सरकार को पता ही नहीं है कि ये लोग मुसीबत में, इसलिए कि उन्हें गांव का पनघट याद आ रहा.
नहीं तो आप मीडिया की आपने बात छेड़ी. मीडिया तो एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ही हो गया है. It has left its traditional role behind long ago. I think the media sees itself as part of the not the government per se, but the establishment rather than the voice of the people. So ye bhi situation, it's a very, very strange situation. As a media person, I feel sometimes that we have become so disconnected and so unemotional and so distant from the people whose voices we claim to represent or did claim to represent.
सही कह रहे हैं, सही कह रहे हैं, बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है. See, they tell me that almost 70-75% India still lives in villages. Now, if you look at, I mean, before this Corona episode, if you would have seen the news on any channel, how much we cover the villages or their problems. How much we talk about the problem of a villager, health problems, education problem, infrastructure, where it is discussed. This is not a topic on any channel. This has never been a topic. It means 75% people are redundant. They are not important. Who are the important people? People who can buy a refrigerator. People who can buy a air conditioner. People who can buy expensive paints. TV is for them because it survives on advertisement. Those who are capable of buying the air conditioner or the refrigerator, what kind of information or what kind of news will interest them? So let's give them only that information, only that news. That is what is happening.
So the viewer is a consumer.
Survival? Very right, very right.
Yeah.
So अब वो गांव में कोई मर रहा है तो उससे क्या, उसको कवर करके क्या फायदा है भाई? वो तो रेफ्रिजरेटर खरीदेगा नहीं, तो ये तो बेकार आदमी है.
एक बात बताइए, as a poet, how did what happened affect you, moved you?
Well, I have written a few poems during this time, and now I'll get them published about the present situation. And I had written a couple of poems before this about the situation that we are living in.
तो एक नई वाली पोएम सुना दीजिए.
अब वो इतनी नई है कि वो 3 या 4 दिन पुरानी है. तो मैं तो वैसे ज़बानी सुनाता हूँ. I never read it, but because I have recited it only once to Shabana and some friends on the phone. So I'll have to read it.
No problem. Please do.
इस पोएम का टाइटल है हम सफर, Co-Traveler. It has already been translated in English. मैं आपको ईमेल कर दूंगा.
ठीक है, प्लीज.
दोनों जलती तपती सड़क पर सूरज की गर्मी से पिघलते, भूख और प्यास की गठरी उठाए हुए कंधों पर, नंगे पांव बड़े नगर से अपने छोटे गांव को, अपने छोटे घरों को लौट रहे हैं. वो घर जो पैरों की ताकत, दिल की हिम्मत से भी आगे, बहुत ही आगे, जाने कितनी दूरी पर है. सूखे होंठ है, खाली आंखें, पांव में छाले, पर चलते रहने के सिवा रास्ता भी क्या है. फैक्ट्री के दरवाजे जब दोनों के मुंह पर बंद हुए थे, ठेकेदार ने जब था इन्हें एक आधी बनी बिल्डिंग से निकाला, कौन था इनका पूछने वाला. कोई भी उम्मीद किसी रास्ते में नहीं थी. सब नगरी सुनसान पड़ी थी, हर बिल्डिंग अनजान खड़ी थी, सारे मकान और सारी दुकानें अपनी आंखें बंद किए थे. उसी नगर में अब ये दोनों थे परदेसी, जहां ये बरसों मरे जिए थे. सारे खुदाओं के घर पर भी लगा था ताला, किससे मांगने वाला कोई नहीं था. चारों तरफ बस एक सन्नाटा गूंज रहा था. वो लाउड स्पीकर भी अब चुप थे. कल जो दोनों को थे बताते, कौन हो तुम और क्या है पूरी और सच्ची पहचान तुम्हारी. सुनो और समझो बात हमारी, वो है बाबर की औलाद और तुम हो महाराणा के बेटे. दोनों का इतिहास अलग है, दोनों का संस्कार अलग है, दोनों के विश्वास अलग हैं. वो लाउड स्पीकर भी चुप थे जो थे बताते, वो हैं बुतों के पूजने वाले और तुम हो गजनी के सिपाही, सच्ची राह के सच्चे राही. दोनों का ईमान अलग है, दोनों का अरमान अलग है, दोनों की मंजिल ही अलग, रास्ते ही अलग है. ऐसा ज्ञान और इल्म बांटते सारे लाउड स्पीकर चुप हैं. और ये दोनों देख रहे हैं, दोनों का एक ही रास्ता है. दोनों जलती तपती सड़क पर सूरज की गर्मी से पिघलते, नंगे पांव अपने कंधों पर अपनी भूख और प्यास की गठरी लेकर जाने कितनी सदियों से यूं ही चलते हैं, पेट की आग में दोनों ही जिंदा चलते हैं। अब दोनों ने है ये जाना, एक अमीरी एक गरीबी, दुनिया में दो ही जाते हैं, बाकी सब झूठी बातें।
फैंटास्टिक। और आप कह रहे हैं 3 दिन पहले 4 दिन पहले लिखा है, तो यहाँ
जी
पे
हाँ।
डेब्यू हो गया। जरूर इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन भेजिए, हम छाप भी देंगे। लेकिन अब 2-4 और सवाल रह गए हैं। मैं पूछना चाहता था कि when we see all these social changes around us, does the most popular creative media in India, Hindi cinema, express those sentiments? There was a time in the 50s and 60s when that did happen, 70s also. You've seen it yourself. You caught the national spirit of the mood of the time. Are we doing it? Is there any kind of social empathy among our filmmakers?
You see, what had happened that around 80s and 90s, there was economic boost, and crores of people have entered middle class income bracket for the first time. And there was a kind of a celebration. And you could see that certainly the values, the aesthetics, the trends have changed, certainly. Because culture is the last thing to come, you know. Affluence and prosperity can come overnight, but culture takes a little time. So there was a kind of a dip in aesthetics. A new middle class had come with a new aesthetic value. But gradually, again, we are coming up. We see that then in the new century, cinema has become polished. It has that kind of a melodrama they used to see, the cliches that have gone out of the film. But that intellectual gap that Bimal Roy or Guru Dutt were capable of has yet to come. Although cinema is moving in that direction, it is becoming much more realistic, mainstream cinema. There was a time when there was a parallel cinema of Shyam Benegal and MS Satyu, but now it is happening within the mainstream. Could we imagine that a film like, say, Mathan, or this film that was made about this section, what was the name of the film?
Article 15.
Article 15. Was it possible some 20 years back? No. So these things are happening. People are taking barrier with tremendous courage. It will take a little more time to have many more Article 15, but it is inevitable. It will happen. But at the same time, that huge blockbuster, larger than life cinema will always survive. It has survived in the first world also, and it will always be there for mass communication. But this cinema, which is sensitive, which is conscious of the problems, which is empathetic, which has heart at its right place, with the right values, it is on the increase. It is on the ascent. So the future is bright.
But at the same time, we are seeing a rise in nationalist cinema, manufactured history, distorted history, blockbuster, और पुरानी फिल्म में भगवे झंडे, history को थोड़ा twist कर दिया. But those nationalist films are being made, which are quite in sync with some of the values that have emerged.
That's right. That's right. That's true. That's true. That's true. Because ultimately, all form of art reflects society somehow. Somebody has said very aptly that you show me the advertisements of a society and I'll tell you everything about that society. So this can be said about the commercial cinema also, because ultimately these films are made for profit. So they think this is the lowest common denominator. This is how we'll be able to please a very big segment of urban audience, because our audience is urban. Most of the theaters in Sin are in the city, not in the villages, not in the small towns even.
Unlike a previous time, when small towns were a big...
There was a difference. Yes. You are right. You have put the finger on the right point. When I had joined film industry in 1965, And within a year, I came to know that I'm going to be a writer because I had come to become a director. But then everybody would ask me to write, and you should become a writer and so on. So the seniors used to tell me that, listen, you should write scripts. Now these are commercial people, and ear to the ground. That you should write a script that are appealing for the small town, because ultimately the real money comes from the small town. There are many small towns. While we have very few big cities, and the rental of the big city theaters is so high that we don't get much from it. The film should succeed in the small town. Now, this producer is not a sociologist, he is not an economist, he is not a political scientist. After so many years, decades, the same man tells me, the same producer, he tells me that I don't care about small town. If my film does well in big towns, in multiplexes, and is appreciated by the diaspora, I am home safe and dry. What is he saying? What he's saying that now to me, almost 70% people of the country don't mean anything. They are redundant. They are not important because the money is here. So what has happened to our economy? That for the film producer who makes the film to make money, he thinks the small town is not important. It is a big city. It means the money has somehow shrunk or been accumulated in the big cities. He doesn't know about this whole process. Maybe his information is or understanding of economy is zilch, but he understands from where he can get money. He's a businessman. So that is a great proof of what kind of development we have had for decades. Lopsided. That the producer is not interested in a small town. He is running after money, but he sees the money is here. Not there.
So, summing up, you got an award which says scientific inquiry and rational thinking and secularism. I got the impression that you are not as pessimistic as many people tend to be. You see shoots of hope in different parts, and you think that the fundamental values of the country, of society, eventually rise, and then fundamentally Indians continue to be people who are have their heart in the right place. Would that be a good summing up of your ethos?
Oh yes,
your
100%. I'm quite sure of that.
So you are you see that India will rise out of.
Oh yes, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. I sometimes tell people that, do you know that Aurangzeb had ruled most of India for 50 years? So what could he do? Could he change us? So how anybody else can do that? He couldn't do it in 50 years.
That's a very nice note to end on. Thank you very much, Javed Saab, for giving us this interview and giving us these very, very considered opinions about what's happening in our country. Look forward to seeing you again sometime.
Thank you. Thank you very much.